Alright, good morning. Welcome to Buck Don't Know Shit. Today, we're not working on brakes. That's for certain. What we are doing is putting a seat together. I had stuff painted, but it's been sitting around. Some things that got kind of dinged up. Some things, parts of the seats actually hadn't been painted. So getting some paint on things, just making sure everything looks kind of half-ass decent, right? Well, there it is, a seat not put together. And I am sitting here trying to picture how all of this worked, and I am missing some stuff. Well, I probably have it, but haven't dug it all out yet. So I know the brackets, there's a back to this, there's some aluminum pieces. I know where those are. There's a back right there, actually. Got to figure out how to piece all that back together, but we will get it. I do have pictures of these, and as you can see, it's not a perfect upholstery job, but I think for the money and the time it took to get it done, yeah, it's gonna work. It's perfect for me in this car. Okay, it's time to assemble a seat. Gotta try to get this seat ready, get the wheels on this car, back wheels, get it down on, sitting on all fours for the first time in like a year and 3 months probably, and then drive it. And that'll be the first time in probably a year and 3 months. Because it seems like the last time I drove it, I pulled it up in here, put it on blocks, took the wheels off, and that was that. It's time though. Put this sucker on the ground and take it for a spin and see what we need to do to the old girl. So, yep, it is time. Beautiful day for it. Just to show how these go, these are one of each for each side, and they go inside like that, which now there we go. And depending on your upholsterer, they may make it for upholstery. Might be a little bit of a fight getting it up in there, but yeah, this side is a little more rumbled. But basically, it's gonna fit on there like this, and then these. Let's see if I got the right side. Yeah, these will fit up in there, and I'll have to fight the material again. But to put these on after they're on the hinge, and they just bolt through right there. So you got to get it on with this in place over the hinge, so the hinge will slip through right there. Put these guys on before I slip the hinges over. Yeah, that's right, because the hinges slip on the outside of that. So yeah, let me put these in place. I'll show you what I do there. I'm gonna have to probably burn holes with my soldering iron through the vinyl. That's what I did on the other side. You gotta find the holes. Basically, you put these in like that. And there's 1, 2, 3 screws that line up with holes in the frame of this seat. Thing on, see where the hole is, and you can see there's the indentation right there. And like I said, these on the back are big, so they're pretty easy to see. Of course, this vinyl is loose on this back side. And there you go. You can see it lined up there, and that rod, it'll find the hole. Here's one I made on this side, and I found these two no problem with my finger. Didn't have to peel the vinyl back. This one there, I found no problem. This one, I had to basically get this one lined up and stuck my soldering iron in there, and it found the hole no problem. So they're ready to screw down now. So that's what I'm about to do. Okay, and I did forget this piece here, and that hole isn't quite lining up, so I'll get that in there. But these are just little small machine screws here and here. These are a little bit longer, as I said, down there. And then these are kind of, I think they're pretty much these screws here. And that looks like the heads that were in the pictures whenever I took it apart. So anyway, I mean, it's screwed together. It's not going anywhere. So now we can add the back, and you have metal to pry the hinge over now. Just to show you, so you get one side on, the other side is kind of wedged against the seat right now, which I know it looks bad, but this is how you do it. And both, the last one I did, it didn't want to just slip over either. There's still a gap down there. You see the little cover plates on the pin fully, but since this is tight and it's kind of in a bind, it doesn't want to go down easily. Oh, yeah, had a booger on it, little burr. It was just kind of old and deformed, and went around with the file, kind of re-rounded it, knocked the burrs off. And the round file got on the inside of the other one, put a little grease on it, and it slipped right on, like very easy. And I did the other side, but now I'm gonna get my pry bars out. You definitely want this side fully attached to give you as much wiggle room on this side as possible. So, and again, I don't have my tripod, but essentially what we're going to do is wedge this up here. The last time I actually got it up to here, and then I was able to get my big pry bar and just slip it on to there, and it went. We'll see. Again, this is how I got the last one on. Not saying this is the only way, but I never could pry it from this lower part here up over this pin. So once I got it up on this edge, then I was able to just get a pry bar behind here, or maybe up there. I don't know, I'll see. But this is what I'm using, that guy right there. I had to use some smaller ones to kind of get it started, like that one and that little blue one right there. But once I got the big one under there, pry it up here, slide it close as I can, and then I'm gonna just lift it up, get this bottom side on this pin, and then just move it over till it lines up this hole. Yeah, it's not easy. So what happens is you get it pried up here, you try to get a pry bar to lift up on this side, and this plate starts to kick down, so you gotta get another pry bar from this side, pick that plate up, and kind of maneuver them over at the same time, all while trying to not let this slip off in that direction, which happened about 3 or 4 times. And eventually you will get it on there. Or you could call somebody to come help you hold this backside while you're shimmying it over, but that's too easy. So it is done. So I'm gonna get a little spray paint back on this before I move too much further, but then you can see this piece will be next, and it basically I'm gonna have to move the upholstery, but yeah, goes on like that. And then some little nuts, these guys here, hold that down. And then the cover plates are right there, they just kind of snap on. And I'm actually going to put them on this time, and I'm actually going to put the outside trim, which goes on the other side, because my car only had 2 of these, and they just used them on the outside. And I don't think that's, I think there are supposed to be, 2 pieces for each chair, but I only have 2 pieces. So I'm gonna set them up to where basically they go on the exterior part so that you see them when you're getting in the car. Just 2 nuts, hold that in place, and then this snaps on, and they literally just kind of get them in the right spot. And of course I'll probably struggle with this one, but yeah, they just kind of snap into place. So it kind of goes over it. Get my hand out of the way, and yep, that's it. Now on the backs of these, so my upholsterer, of course they didn't probably know, but I'm not sitting on wrenches, okay. But you can see down here, there's this material supposed to be smushed down and some plastic stops. So I have some of these stops coming. Mine were missing, and I will have to figure something out. But basically, those go there, and here they are. These guys screw into here and basically stop on the plastic pieces. Well, I mean, it don't look perfect. Again, it's not like perfectly tight upholstery, but I like it. Looks good. It's gonna work. But this is basically what I had to do. You got this backing plate. You gotta burn holes through it, again with the soldering iron, and through the cushion padding, squish as hard as you can. And I had to get Carly out here to stick those cotter pins in there. I'm gonna bend these over, make sure they don't ever fall out. But that's it. I mean, Thunderbird emblem is in place. Getting the old girl ready for a test drive. And yeah, I realized something. You should take your masking and plastic off the inside of your windshield before you install your dash. Jesus Christ. Okay, a couple of, I guess, issues with the seats. These right here are supposed to go inside some clips on the back of the seat. I guess I did not take those clips off before I brought them to the upholsterer. Yeah, all the little screw holes in the side. Like there. There's, I think 9 of them. One up there. All those are these little screws, and they hold the trim in place. So from the inside. So that I was a little confused on that. I was thinking these screw holes screwed into the frame of the seat and held it down, and then the trim went on. I was like, that's gonna be a bitch to get that trim on. But then I got to looking at it, trim screws to that, so I can go ahead and do that. And then gotta have clips that these guys fit into, kind of wedged down in right there. And yeah, so got to make that happen. And then it screws 3 screws from the bottom. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so these pieces, these are the ones that still had anodizing on them that I got off with the Easy Off. And I resanded this guy and one of the other little pieces like this that I'd already done. And yeah, I mean, that's sanded up to 2500, and it's not perfect, but it looks pretty dang good. And I'll get it on the buffing wheel and polish these up and get one of these sets assembled for the back of that seat. Here's the other one. I am going to redo it also. I got some overspray, Easy Off overspray on it, and it doesn't want to just clean up real easy. So I think I'm going to start with about probably about a 360 grit and resand this whole piece. Okay, so the trim is on my back piece, and basically it's 3 pieces. I put these 2 bottom ones on first, and then this top piece slips down in the sides here, and there are 2 screws on each side and 1 screw for the top, and they use these little screws here. So yeah, when you're taking them apart, just try not to lose those. That's probably not an easy screw to find right there. I've got plenty of them for this. I got had a little issue. My buffing wheel kind of slunk, took that one for a ride, so it is a little bent up. These are sticking out a little there. Yeah, I don't really like that. There wasn't anything that snaps those backs down, like right here. because it really shouldn't be sticking out like that. I'm just wondering if there's some kind of clip or something. I bet there is. I bet. Oh, you know what? Maybe that's what these guys are. Right here. Clip. Right there. That's what I'm going to use them for. I don't know if that's right, but looks like that's what they're intended for. Okay, yeah, so that's what these clips are for. And it looks like. And you can see now it keeps it from flaring out. So, yeah, that's it. Hold on to those things too. But yeah, so now I got to figure out how to fab these. I mean, I know how I can fab them. I just got to get them the size that I need to make these little clips for the little tabs on the back of the seat to go through. So let me undo that wire there and try to find the holes and see how far apart they are. Okay, I know they aren't very pretty, but they will do the job. That looks even better. I put that little dimple in there so that when the clasp goes in there, you know, it'll catch against it and seal it real good. Well, these look better. I still cannot cut a straight line with the angle grinder. Save my life, especially on something small like this. I don't know. Anyway, they're gonna work. These actually did turn out pretty good. I hope they're not, they might be a little too tall, but I think they're gonna work. Okay, there they are. I think they're gonna work. I in search of a hole there, I couldn't find it, but I did find it, but after a few stabs with the hot iron. I am about to slip this cover on there, see what happens, and 3 screws in the bottom, and we will be, well, not done with the seat, but done with this part of the seat. Still got to put the pedestal on it. Shit, they actually worked and felt like they snapped in when I got this lip over the end here. And like I said, I'll put the 3 screws back in here, and this sucker is on and secure, and I like it. One other thing, when you're putting these bolts in, you will have to use your sliding mechanism, open it up and pull this forward. This side has the big spring, so be careful, make sure it's locked. Don't get your fingers in there. Make sure you got a hand on this when you're installing this. You don't want to, yeah, that would hurt. This side here, I don't have a spring, you know, to slide it back, so it's safe. You just got to move it forward, it'll lock in place. And this locks in place, but just be careful that it is locked in place. Just move it forward, you got to put the back bolt in and slide it back, and then you can access your front bolt. So yeah, that's what you have to do to get this rail on. This is the original type of screw or bolt that was in it. Phillips head, big Phillips head. For whatever reason, the seats were missing a couple of those types of screws. Here, I replaced it with my own bolt. Back here, there is another bolt. Basically, you have to activate the sliding mechanism, move this forward, and then you can get to this bolt here. Same on this side. Pretty easy to activate, which that brings me to what I am about to do. So your lever is here. Activates that, but you got to have originally these had like a bar and a little turnbuckle and then a rod over here that attaches to a hole under here. Don't have that piece anymore. I don't know if I ever did. I don't know if the upholsterer took it off and I didn't get it back, or if I have just lost it. Could be lots of reasons. Regardless, we don't have it now. So I am coming up with cable, turnbuckle. That's pretty much the option I have. So wire rope clips. So I got 8 of them for 1/8 inch, and I got these little turnbuckles, and for that end, and that is a right hand thread end, luckily. I got some of these just to, not that it would slip off of there, but you know, would rather have a closed in hook on that one. Well, I improvised the plan a little bit. Instead of making 2 cables and yeah, I just used the hook down under here to get to that hole. That's kind of how the old one was. Looking at pictures, just made my 2 clasps, a little piece of cable looped around there, and you can see it does the job now. And I still have plenty of adjustment left if I need it. I'm more than happy with it. Okay, got my studs in, and I just screw them through till, you know, feel them coming out the tops here, like that right there. And you can have some adjustment. So I have these in the back position, which will put the seat closer, and it's probably, I don't know, it ain't much, 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, center to center of those holes, where you could move the seat back a little bit. I've sat in it in this position, and it had plenty of room, and I'm 6 foot tall, pretty big guy, and Carly's gonna be driving it, so a little closer is better for her, you know. But yeah, so got to put my side pieces, plastic pieces on, and which that's easy. You can see the holes where they screw in, and then put my final little knob on there, which is just a little set screw with an Allen wrench, and then that's it for this sucker. We are done, nearly. I do got to come in eventually and put these seat stoppers in here when I get them. Again, things missing off my seats that either weren't there or the upholsterer didn't give me back or whatever, but these are the bolts that sit down on those. I'm missing these also. I think I've got all of them. A little different style, and I don't know if like they were like that in the seat, one of each, or if it's just, you know, the seats have been redone and gotten different styles, but that's the bolts for those. So, you know, whatever, that's them. I probably will use one because I like this better. It looks more like I would think it should. You know, it sits down there, it's got a good wide base to get weight on. So I'll probably do one of each in each seat. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so there it is, completed. Plastic side shields on. Linkage for my sliding mechanisms hooked up, and that's self-made. I described this in another video, but yeah, just for both of them I spent about 15 bucks on hardware from a hardware store and a little cable and clamps to make this, and it works great, and I'm glad I'm done with this project. Like completely done. This these seats, they completely disassembled, they take a minute, especially whenever you include all the polishing and everything in there. It's not a quick job. There it is in the car, fully assembled. So don't have it bolted down. I'll probably put a couple of nuts on it just in case, you know, someone sits in it or whatever. Keep it flipping backwards. But yep, that's it. That's what they're gonna look like in the car together.